My sister tried to return her adopted son and said if I didn't take him, it would be my fault when he went back into foster care. I'd been living with my partner for 4 years when my older sister called at 11 on a Tuesday night and told me she was giving her son back. My sister Bryn had adopted 10-year-old Caleb 3 years earlier, and I'd watched her struggle with him from the start. My partner Owen sat up in bed when I answered, saw my face and mouthed, "What's wrong?" Bryn's voice was flat. "I can't do this anymore. I'm contacting the state next week to start the disruption process." "Disruption?" I repeated. The word felt clinical and cold. "You're returning him?" "I know how it sounds," she said, "but I've tried everything. Therapy twice a week, medication adjustments, behavioral specialists coming to the house. Nothing works. He destroys things when he's angry. He screams at me for hours. Last week he punched a hole through his bedroom door and told me he wished I'd never adopted him." I pressed my palm against my forehead. "Bryn, he's been through so much. The trauma." "I know about the trauma," she cut in. "I've read every book. I've followed every plan. But I can't bond with him. I look at him and I feel nothing except exhausted. That's not fair to either of us." Owen was staring at me now, fully awake. "So you're just going to send him back into foster care?" I asked. "That's why I'm calling," Bryn said. "I want you to take him." The room tilted. "What?" "You have the space. You have resources. Owen's job is flexible. You don't have other kids competing for attention." Her words came faster. "He needs family who can handle his needs. If you say yes, he stays with someone who loves him. If you say no, he goes back into the system. And we both know what that means." My mouth went dry. "Bryn, I've met Caleb maybe 6 times. I barely know him. You're his aunt. That's more than any foster family can say." "I have a career," I said. "Owen and I have a life. We didn't plan for this." "I didn't plan for any of this either," she shot back. "But he's here and I'm drowning, and you're the only person I can ask." Owen grabbed my wrist and shook his head hard. "I need time to think," I said. "You have 2 weeks," Bryn said. "That's when I'm meeting with the caseworker. If you're not committed by then, I'm moving forward with the disruption." 2 weeks? "I've been thinking about this for 6 months," she said. "I can't keep going. I need an answer." She hung up before I could respond. I lowered the phone and looked at Owen. His face had gone pale. "Tell me she did not just ask you to adopt her kid," he said. "She's disrupting the adoption. She wants me to take him instead of letting him go back into foster care." "No," Owen said immediately. "Absolutely not." "Owen, we didn't sign up for this," he said. "We're not parents. We don't want to be parents. You've said that 100 times." "I know, but nothing," he said. "This kid has serious issues. Your sister has been trying for 3 years with professional help and she still can't manage him. What makes you think we could?" "Because maybe he needs something different," I said. "Maybe he needs people who aren't already burned out. Or maybe he needs people who are actually trained for this," Owen said. "We're not therapists. We're not equipped to handle a traumatized 10-year-old who punches holes in walls." I stood and walked to the window. "If I say no, he goes back into the system." "That's not your fault," Owen said. "Your sister made the choice to adopt him. She's the one disrupting. You didn't create the situation." I turned back to him. "But I'm the one who could fix it." His jaw tightened. "At what cost?" I called my parents the next morning while Owen was at work. My mom answered on the second ring. "Honey, hi. Is everything okay?" "Bryn called last night," I said. "She's disrupting Caleb's adoption." Silence. Then my dad's voice in the background. "Put it on speaker." "She's what?" my mom said. "She's giving him back to the state. She says she can't handle him anymore." "That's ridiculous," my dad said. "She made a commitment. You don't just return a child like he's a broken appliance." "She asked me to take him," I said. My mom sucked in a breath. "Oh, and I don't know what to do," I said. "Owen doesn't want to. We never planned to have kids. But if I say no?" "You can't say no," my dad interrupted. I stopped walking. "What?" "You can't say no to this," he said. "He's family. Family doesn't abandon family." "Dad, I'm not abandoning anyone. I didn't adopt him, Bryn did. And now she's failing him," my mom said. "But you don't have to. You have the house. You have the money. You don't have other children to worry about. You're in the best position to help him." "That doesn't mean I'm required to upend my entire life," I said. "This is a child's life," my dad said. "A 10-year-old boy who's already been through more trauma than most adults. If you refuse and he goes back into foster care, that's on you." "That's not fair," I said. "What's not fair is a child losing his family twice," my mom said. "What's not fair is you having every resource he needs and choosing not to use them." My chest tightened. "You're making it sound like I'm the villain here." "I'm saying that you have a choice," my dad said. "Bryn is making hers. You get to make yours. But you don't get to make it and then pretend you're not responsible for the outcome." "I need to talk to Owen," I said. "Owen will follow your lead," my mom said. "He loves you. He'll do what you need him to do." "He already said no." "Then you need to help him understand what's at stake," my dad said. "This isn't about convenience. This is about whether or not you're the kind of person who steps up when it matters." I hung up before I said something I'd regret. Owen came home at 6 and found me sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Reading about adoption disruption," I said. "And trauma therapy. And reactive attachment disorder." He set his bag down slowly. "You're seriously considering this?" "I'm trying to understand what we'd be getting into." "We are not getting into anything," he said. "I told you last night I'm not doing this." "He's 10 years old," I said. "He didn't ask for any of this. If we don't take him, he goes back into a system that's already failed him once." "That's not our fault," Owen said. "But we could prevent it." "At what cost?" he said again. "You keep ignoring that part. Our life changes completely. Your career changes. Our relationship changes. We'd be managing his trauma and his violence and his therapy schedule for years, maybe forever. And you want to sign up for that because you feel guilty?" "It's not about guilt," I said. "Then what is it about?" I closed the laptop. "It's about the fact that I can help, and I'm choosing not to." "You're not choosing not to help," Owen said. "You're choosing not to sacrifice everything. That's different." "Is it?" He pulled out the chair across from me and sat. "I love you. I will stay with you if you do this. But it will destroy us. You know that, right? This kind of stress breaks couples. I've seen it happen. And when it does, we'll both resent each other and we'll resent him, and that's not fair to anyone. So your answer is just no, no matter what? My answer is that we didn't create this problem and we're not obligated to fix it, he said. Your sister made a choice 3 years ago. She's making another choice now. Those are her choices, not ours. I called Bryn 2 days later. I need more information, I said. What kind of therapy has he been in? What medications? What have the specialists said? She sighed. He's been in trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy since I adopted him. He's on 2 different medications for anxiety and mood regulation. We've had 3 different behavioral specialists work with him at the house. None of it has made a lasting difference. What does he need that you can't provide? I don't know, she said. Her voice cracked. Maybe he needs someone who actually wants him. I look at him and I feel nothing. I try to fake it, but kids know. He knows I don't love him the way I'm supposed to. Bryn, I'm a terrible person, she said. I know that. I thought love would come. Everyone said it would, but it didn't. And now I'm stuck pretending every day, and he's stuck with someone who's just going through the motions. Have you told him you're planning to disrupt? Not yet. I wanted to know if you'd take him first. So he doesn't even know this is happening. I didn't want to hurt him until I knew for sure. I pressed my fingers against my temple. What happens if I say no? He goes back into state care, she said. They'll try to find a foster placement, maybe a group home if they can't. And if I say yes, then you become his legal guardian. I sign over my rights. He stays with family. For how long? Forever, she said. Or until he's 18, whichever comes first. I hung up and stared at my hands. Owen found me still sitting there an hour later. What did she say? He asked. She said she doesn't love him. She said he knows. Owen sat beside me and didn't say anything. If I say no, he'll know that too, I said. He'll know I could have taken him and I didn't. You can't make this decision based on guilt, Owen said. Then what do I base it on? He reached for my hand. I don't know. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake staring at the ceiling and imagining both futures. The one where I said yes and spent the next 8 years managing meltdowns and therapy appointments and school meetings and property damage. The one where I said no and spent the next 8 years wondering if he was okay, if he remembered me, if he hated me. Neither future felt survivable. I booked a flight 3 days later and told Owen I needed to see it for myself before I could decide. He drove me to the airport without saying much. When I got out of the car, he grabbed my wrist. Don't let them guilt you into this, he said. I'm just going to observe. You're going to fall in love with him, Owen said. That's what you do. You see someone hurting and you want to fix it, but you can't fix this. I pulled my hand back. I'll call you tonight. Bryn picked me up from the airport and drove me to her house in silence. She looked thinner than I remembered. Her hair was pulled back in a messy knot, and she had dark circles under her eyes. He's at school right now, she said. He gets home at 3:30. I told him you were visiting for the week, but I didn't say why. What does he think this is about? He thinks you're here because you miss him. She turned onto her street. He got excited when I told him. He asked if you were bringing Owen. My stomach dropped. What did you say? I said Owen had to work. We pulled into the driveway. The house looked normal from the outside. A bike lay on its side in the front yard. The mailbox had a dent in it. That's from 2 weeks ago, Bryn said, following my gaze. He kicked it during a meltdown. Inside, the house felt tense. Everything was clean but worn. There were locks on the pantry and the cabinets under the sink. A baby gate blocked the hallway. He's not allowed in certain areas without supervision, Bryn explained. He hides things. Food, mostly. Sometimes he breaks things and tries to hide the pieces. I set my bag down. How often does he have meltdowns? 3 or 4 times a week? Sometimes more. She walked to the kitchen and poured herself coffee. They last anywhere from 20 minutes to 3 hours. He screams. He throws things. He says he hates me and wishes he'd never been adopted. Then he calms down and acts like nothing happened. What triggers them? Anything. Being told no. Being asked to do homework. Seeing another kid get attention at the park. She took a sip. Last week he had one because I bought the wrong kind of cereal. Does he hurt you? Not directly. He throws things near me. He's punched walls next to my head. His therapist says he's testing boundaries. Seeing if I'll leave like everyone else did. And you're leaving. She set the cup down hard. I've been here for 3 years. I didn't leave. I stayed longer than I should have. The front door opened at 3:40. I heard a backpack hit the floor. I'm home, Caleb called. Bryn straightened. In the kitchen, he appeared in the doorway. He was small for 10, with dark hair and sharp eyes. He looked at me and his face lit up. You're here, he said. Hey, Caleb, I smiled. Good to see you. He ran over and hugged me. I froze for a second, then hugged him back. He smelled like playground mulch and grape juice. How long are you staying, he asked. A week. Cool, can we go to the arcade? Bryn never takes me. We'll see, Bryn said. Go put your backpack in your room and start your homework. His face darkened. I don't want to do homework. You have to do it before dinner. I'll do it later. You'll do it now. He stared at her. You can't make me. Caleb, go to your room. No? I stepped back slightly. Bryn's jaw tightened. If you don't go to your room right now, you lose screen time tonight, she said. I don't care. He crossed his arms. Screen time is stupid anyway. Fine. No screen time tomorrow either. I hate you, he said. His voice was flat and cold. I wish you weren't my mom. Bryn didn't flinch. Go to your room. He turned and stomped down the hallway. A door slammed. Then something hit the wall. Bryn poured more coffee. Her hand shook slightly. That was mild, she said. I spent the next 3 days watching the pattern repeat. Caleb would be fine for an hour. Playing or talking or watching videos on the tablet Bryn allowed him for 30 minutes a day. Then something would set him off. A request to clean up. A boundary he didn't like. A perceived slight. The meltdowns were worse than I'd imagined. He screamed until his voice went hoarse. He threw books, toys, shoes. He kicked doors and punched the couch cushions and told Bryn she was the worst mother in the world. Bryn would stand there and repeat the same calm phrases the therapist had taught her, but I could see the exhaustion in her eyes. She looked like someone who'd stopped hoping things would get better. On the 4th day, my mom called while Caleb was at school. How is it? She asked. Hard. That's why he needs you, she said. Bryn doesn't have the capacity anymore. You do. Mom, I don't know if anyone has the capacity for this. He's a child, she said. He's not a monster. He's acting out because he's been abandoned and abused and he doesn't know how to process it. You have the emotional bandwidth to help him through that. Bryn doesn't. That's not fair to Bryn. I'm not interested in being fair to Bryn right now, my mom said. I'm interested in what happens to that little boy if you say no. Owen texted me that afternoon. How much longer are you staying? Until Sunday. You need to come home and tell her no. The longer you stay, the harder it's going to be. I need to see the whole picture. You're not being objective. You're getting attached. I'm trying to make an informed decision. You're trying to talk yourself into something you don't want. I didn't respond. That night, Caleb asked if he could show me his room. Bryn nodded, and I followed him down the hallway. His room was small and plain. A bed, a dresser, a bookshelf. There were holes in the drywall that had been patched and painted over. He pointed to a drawing taped to the wall. I made that in art class, he said. It was a picture of a house with stick figures in front. That's me and Bryn, and that's you. I looked closer. He'd drawn me standing next to him holding his hand. When did you make this? Last week. Bryn said you were coming to visit, so I added you. My throat tightened. It's really good. Do you think you'll visit more? He asked. I don't know. Maybe. I hope you do. He sat on his bed. Bryn doesn't like me very much. That's not true. Yes, it is. He picked at a loose thread on his blanket. She pretends, but I can tell. She's tired all the time, and she doesn't smile at me like other moms smile at their kids. She's doing her best. Her best isn't very good. He looked up at me. Do you like me? I sat beside him. Of course I do. Would you want to be my mom? The question hit me like a fist. Caleb, I know Bryn wants to send me back, he said. His voice was quiet. I heard her on the phone. She thinks I don't know, but I do. I didn't know what to say. If she sends me back, will you take me instead? He asked. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Please, he said. I'll be good. I promise. I won't have meltdowns anymore. I'll do my homework. I'll do whatever you want. Caleb, it's not about you being good. Then what's it about? I looked at the drawing on the wall, the stick figure version of me holding his hand. I don't know yet, I said. He nodded slowly. That means no. It doesn't mean no. It means I'm still figuring it out. Everyone always says that, he said. And then they leave. On my last day, Bryn and I sat on the porch after Caleb went to bed. So, she asked? I don't have an answer yet. You have 6 days left. I know. She leaned back in her chair. He asked you to take him, didn't he? How did you know? Because he asked me if you would. I told him I didn't know. She looked at me. I need an answer by next Friday. If you're not committed, I'm calling the caseworker Monday morning. That's 8 days. That's all I can give you, she said. I can't keep doing this. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I look at him and I feel trapped. If I don't do this now, I'm going to completely fall apart, and that's not fair to either of us. I stared at the dark yard. If I say yes, what happens to you? I start over, she said. I go to therapy. I figure out how to forgive myself. She paused. And I hope that someday he understands I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was trying to stop hurting both of us. I flew home the next morning. Owen picked me up from the airport and didn't ask any questions until we got home. So, he finally said, I dropped my bag on the floor. I still don't know. You have 6 days. I know. What did you see that I need to know about? I told him about the meltdowns, the holes in the walls, the locks on the cabinets, the drawing. He drew you holding his hand, Owen said. Yes. And he asked you to take him? Yes. Owen sat on the couch and put his head in his hands. You're going to say yes? I didn't say that. You don't have to. He looked up at me. I can see it on your face. I couldn't look at Owen for the rest of that night. I made dinner and we ate in silence. When I went to bed, he stayed on the couch. The next morning, I called a family therapist whose name I'd found online. I told her I was asking hypothetically about taking custody of a child with severe behavioral issues. What kind of training do you have? She asked. None. What kind of support system? My partner, maybe my parents. Is your partner on board? I hesitated. Not exactly. Then I'd strongly advise against it, she said. Children with complex trauma need caregivers who are trained, unified, and resourced. If you go into this divided or unprepared, the placement will likely fail, and a failed placement causes more harm than never placing at all. What if I'm his only option besides foster care? Then the foster system needs to find him a home equipped to meet his needs, she said. You're not responsible for fixing a system that's broken. I thanked her and hung up. Owen came into the kitchen while I was still holding the phone. What did they say? He asked. That we're not equipped for this. Good. Call Bryn and tell her no. I can't. Why not? Because he's already been abandoned once. If I say no, he'll think it's because he's not worth it. He's 10, Owen said. He'll get over it. Will he? Owen grabbed his keys off the counter. I have to go to work, but when I get home, we need to talk about what happens if you say yes and I can't stay. My chest tightened. You'd leave? I don't want to, he said, but I'm not going to light myself on fire to keep someone else warm, and that's what this would be. He left before I could respond. I called a child welfare advocate that afternoon. She worked for a nonprofit that helped families navigate the foster system. I need to understand what I'd be signing up for, I said. Legally or practically? Both. Legally, you'd be applying for kinship guardianship, she said. The state would likely approve it since you're family and you have stable housing and income. Practically, you'd be taking on a child with a documented history of trauma and behavioral issues. That means ongoing therapy, possibly medication management, school accommodations, and crisis intervention when he has meltdowns. For how long? Until he's 18? Or until the placement disrupts? How often do kinship placements disrupt? More often than people think, she said. Especially when the caregivers go in without training or realistic expectations. The child acts out, the caregivers can't cope, and the placement falls apart. Then the child goes back into the system with even more abandonment trauma. So you're saying I shouldn't do it. I'm saying you should only do it if you're absolutely certain you can commit for the long haul, she said. If there's any doubt, it's kinder to say no now. I hung up and stared at the wall. My mom called an hour later. I talked to your Aunt Kelly, she said. She thinks you should take him. You told Aunt Kelly? She asked how Bryn was doing. I told her the truth. Mom, this is private. It stopped being private when Bryn decided to disrupt, she said. This affects the whole family. Kelly said if you don't take him, she and Uncle Rob will consider it. My stomach dropped. They live in a 2-bedroom apartment. They're in their 60s. They're willing to step up. Are you? That's not fair. Life isn't fair, my mom said, but we still have to make choices. Kelly called me that night. Your mom told me what's happening, she said. I want you to know that if you can't take him, Rob and I will try. Kelly, you're not set up for this. Neither are you, she said, but someone has to do it. I'd rather it be family than strangers. He needs specialists. He needs space. He needs someone who won't give up on him, she interrupted. Everything else we can figure out. I thanked her and hung up feeling worse than before. Owen came home at 8 and found me sitting in the dark. Did you call Bryn? He asked. No. You have 4 days. I know. He sat across from me. I talked to my brother today. Told him what was happening. What did he say? He said I should leave you now if you're seriously considering this. He said once you commit, you'll never be able to walk away, and I'll be stuck in a life I never wanted. And what do you think? I think he's right, Owen said. But I also think I love you enough to try. If you say yes, I'll stay. But I need you to understand what that means. We'll never have a quiet life again. We'll never travel like we planned. Your career will take a backseat to his needs. Our relationship will be about managing his trauma instead of building something together. And when it gets hard, you won't be allowed to regret it, because he'll be there watching. You think I'll regret it? I think anyone would, he said. But you won't let yourself admit it because you'll feel too guilty. So you think I should say no? I think you should do what you can actually live with, he said. Not what your parents think you should do. Not what makes you look like a good person. What you can actually sustain for the next 8 years. I didn't answer. My phone buzzed. A text from my cousin Lauren. Heard about Caleb, that's a tough spot. Whatever you decide, don't let anyone guilt you into it. Then another from my uncle. Your mom told me. You'd be a saint if you took him, but no one would blame you if you didn't. Then my aunt on my dad's side. I can't believe Bryn is doing this. That poor child. Someone needs to step up. I turned my phone off and put my head in my hands. Owen reached across the table and took my wrist. You don't have to save him, but I could. At what cost? Stop asking me that. Because you don't have an answer, he said. You keep imagining the version where you say yes and everything works out, but you won't let yourself imagine the version where you say yes and it destroys us. Or the version where you take him and still can't help him and he ends up back in the system anyway, except now it's your failure instead of Bryn's. I pulled my hand back. I need to think. You've been thinking for 10 days, he said. At some point you just have to decide. 3 days before the deadline, Bryn called. I need to know, she said. I'm still figuring it out. There's nothing left to figure out, she said. Either you're taking him or you're not. I'm meeting with the caseworker Friday morning. If you're in, I need to tell her you're applying for guardianship. If you're not, I need to tell her he's going back into care. Bryn, I can't just... Yes, you can, she said. You're choosing not to because it's easier to stay in limbo than to commit. But I don't have that luxury. I'm meeting with her in 3 days whether you've decided or not. What if I need more time? You don't get more time. I gave you 2 weeks, that's all I can do. She hung up. I sat on the bathroom floor and cried until my ribs hurt. Owen found me there an hour later. He sat beside me and didn't say anything. I don't know what to do, I said. Then the answer is no, he said. If you were certain, you'd know. That's not how this works. That's exactly how this works, he said. You don't take on a traumatized child because you feel obligated. You do it because you can't imagine not doing it. And you can imagine not doing it. You've been imagining it for 2 weeks. That doesn't mean I should say no. It means you're allowed to, he said. The deadline arrived on a Friday. I woke up at 6 and still didn't have an answer. Owen made coffee and set a cup in front of me. Bryn's meeting is at 9, he said. I stared at the cup. You have to call her, he said. I picked up my phone. My hands shook. What are you going to say? Owen asked. I don't know. He sat beside me. If you say yes, I'll stay. But I need you to hear me. I will resent you. I will resent him. And eventually that resentment will kill everything we built. I don't want that to happen, but I can't pretend it won't. And if I say no, then we have a chance, he said. And Caleb gets placed somewhere equipped to help him. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. But it's not your failure to carry. I looked at the clock. 8:15. My phone buzzed. A text from Bryn. I'm leaving for the appointment in 30 minutes. I need to know. I stood and walked to the window. Owen stayed at the table. I typed out a response, deleted it, typed another, deleted that too. At 8:45, I finally wrote back. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I hit send before I could change my mind. My phone rang immediately. I answered. Bryn's voice was thick. Are you sure? No, I said. But I can't say yes when I'm not certain. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, okay. Bryn, I have to go, she said. I'll call you after. She hung up. I set the phone down and pressed my palms against the counter. Owen came up behind me and put his hand on my shoulder. You made the right choice, he said. I didn't feel like I'd made any choice at all. Bryn called me 3 hours later. I was sitting on the couch staring at nothing when my phone lit up. I answered. Hey, he's gone. Her voice was raw. They picked him up an hour ago. He asked where you were. My stomach turned over. Bryn! He asked if you were coming to get him. I told him no. I told him you couldn't take him. Do you know what he said? I couldn't speak. He said he knew you didn't really like him. He said he could tell. That's not true. It doesn't matter if it's true, she said. That's what he believes now. That's what he's going to carry with him. I couldn't do it. I tried to figure out how, but you didn't try hard enough. Her voice cracked. I asked you for one thing. I gave you 2 weeks. I told you exactly what was at stake, and you still said no. I'm not equipped for this, neither is Owen. We would have failed him. So you let me fail him instead. She was crying now. You let me be the villain. You let me be the one who sent him back. You could have taken that burden off me, but you decided your comfort mattered more. That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair, she said. I spent 3 years trying to love him and I couldn't. I looked at him every single day and felt nothing except exhausted. Do you know what that does to a person? Do you know how much I hate myself? Bryn, I'm sorry. I needed you, she said. I needed someone to step up so I didn't have to be the monster. But you chose yourself. You chose your perfect life with Owen and your career and your clean house, and you left me here alone. I can't take on something I'm not capable of handling. You're capable. You just didn't want to be. She took a shaky breath. I called you because you're my sister. Because I thought family meant something. I thought if anyone would understand, it would be you. But you're just like everyone else. You'll help as long as it doesn't cost you anything. That's not true. Then what did it cost you to say no? A few sleepless nights? Some guilt? I lost 3 years of my life. I lost myself. And he lost everything. He'll get placed somewhere better. Somewhere with people who are trained. He's 10 years old and he just learned that even his own family doesn't want him, Bryn said. Do you really think a trained foster family is going to undo that? I opened my mouth but nothing came out. I have to go, she said. I can't talk to you right now. Bryn, please! She hung up. I tried calling back twice. She didn't answer. I sent a text. She didn't respond. Owen sat beside me. What did she say? That I abandoned them both. That I chose myself. You chose not to drown, he said. That's different. Is it? He didn't answer. I called my parents that night. My dad picked up. Did Bryn tell you? I asked. She told us. His voice was cold. Your mother is too upset to talk to you right now. Dad, I couldn't do it. I tried to figure out a way, but you didn't try, he said. You spent 2 weeks looking for reasons to say no, and then you said no. That's not trying, that's justifying. I don't have the training, I don't have the emotional capacity. Taking him would have been setting everyone up to fail. So you let him fail instead. That's not what I did. That's exactly what you did, he said. You had a chance to keep him in the family. You had the resources, the space, the support. You had everything he needed except the willingness to sacrifice your comfort. It's not about comfort. It's about being realistic. It's about being selfish, he said. Your mother and I raised you to believe that family comes first. That when someone needs help, you help them. But apparently we failed, because when it mattered, you chose yourself. Dad, that's not fair. What's not fair is a 10-year-old boy sitting in a social worker's office right now wondering why nobody wants him, he said. What's not fair is Bryn carrying the weight of this alone while you get to go back to your nice quiet life and pretend you did the right thing. I can't take on a child I'm not prepared to help. You were as prepared as anyone, he said. You just didn't want to do the work. My chest tightened. So you think I'm a terrible person? I think you failed a moral test, he said. I think you had a chance to do something meaningful and difficult, and you chose easy instead. I think that child is going to grow up knowing his own aunt didn't think he was worth the inconvenience. That's not true. Then what is true? He asked. Explain it to me. Make me understand how you can live with this. I couldn't answer. Your mother doesn't want to talk to you right now, he said. Maybe in a few weeks. Maybe not. I don't know. Dad, I have to go. He hung up. I sat there holding the phone. Owen took it from my hand and set it on the table. They're wrong, he said. Are they? You're not responsible for fixing this. But I could have tried. And failed, he said. And then what? Then we're all miserable and he still ends up back in the system, except now it's our failure too. I put my head in my hands. I keep seeing his face. When he asked me if I'd take him, he looked so hopeful. You can't make decisions based on a kid's hopes, Owen said. Kids hope for things that aren't realistic all the time. That doesn't mean adults have to destroy their lives trying to make those hopes come true. He's not a thing, he's a person. I know that, Owen said. But so are you, and your life matters too. I called Bryn again the next morning. She didn't pick up. I texted asking if we could talk. She didn't respond. I tried my mom. She didn't answer either. I sent an email to both of them. I know you're angry. I know you think I made the wrong choice. But I need you to understand that I didn't do this lightly. I spent 2 weeks trying to figure out how to say yes. I wanted to say yes. But I couldn't lie to myself or to him about what I was capable of. Please talk to me. No response. Owen found me checking my phone every 10 minutes. They're not going to answer, he said. You don't know that. They're punishing you. They want you to feel as bad as they feel. Maybe I should feel bad. He grabbed my shoulders. Stop. You're spiraling. I can't stop thinking about him. Wondering where he is, if he's scared, if he hates me. He probably does hate you right now, Owen said. And that's horrible. But it doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. How do you know? Because you're still here, he said. You're still functional. If you'd said yes, you wouldn't be. You'd be drowning just like Bryn was, and then where would that leave anyone? I pulled away from him. I need to know he's okay. You're not going to know that. Not for a long time. Maybe never. That's not good enough. It has to be, he said. My cousin Lauren called that afternoon. I heard what happened, she said. Your mom told my mom. Everyone's talking about it. My stomach dropped. What are they saying? That you refused to take Caleb. That he's going back into foster care because of you. That's not the whole story. I know, she said. But that's the version that's spreading. Aunt Kelly called my mom this morning crying. She said she and Uncle Rob tried to offer, but the state said they're too old and don't have the space. They shouldn't have been put in that position. Neither should you, Lauren said. But here we are. Is my mom talking to anyone? She's talking to everyone except you, Lauren said. She's devastated. She keeps saying she doesn't understand how you could do this. Did you tell her my side? I tried. She doesn't want to hear it. I closed my eyes. When does this get easier? I don't know if it does, Lauren said. This is the kind of thing people don't forget. She hung up a few minutes later. Owen came into the room. Who was that? Lauren. Everyone knows. Everyone's talking about it. Let them talk. My mom is telling people I abandoned him. That I chose my comfort over a child's life. Your mom is grieving, he said. She's looking for someone to blame. She's blaming me. Because you're here and the system isn't, he said. It's easier to be angry at you than at something abstract. That doesn't make it fair. None of this is fair, he said. My phone buzzed. A text from my aunt on my dad's side. Heard about Caleb. I don't know the whole story, but I hope you're okay. This must be awful. Then another from a family friend. Your mom told me what happened. I can't imagine what you're going through. Just know that not everyone thinks you're wrong. Then one from my uncle. Your dad called. He's really upset. Give them some time. I turned my phone off and set it face down on the table. Owen sat beside me. You did what you could live with. I don't know if I can live with it. You're going to have to, he said. 2 weeks later, Lauren called again. The caseworker found a placement, she said. A foster family in another county. They specialize in kids with trauma histories. My chest loosened slightly. When? He moved in 3 days ago. Bryn told my mom. Is he okay? I don't know. Bryn didn't say much. Is she okay? No, Lauren said. But I don't think she was ever going to be okay with this. Is my mom still not talking to me? Not yet. Maybe give it more time. I hung up and told Owen. See? He said. He got placed. He's with people who know what they're doing. That doesn't make me feel better. It should. It doesn't. He pulled me against him. You're going to carry this for a while, but eventually it'll get lighter. You don't know that. I do, he said, because I know you, and you don't let things destroy you. I wanted to believe him. I didn't. I stopped going to family events. My mom's birthday came and went. I sent a card. She didn't acknowledge it. Thanksgiving arrived and my dad called to tell me they were having dinner at Bryn's house and I wasn't invited. She can't be around you right now, he said. And honestly, neither can your mother. How long is this going to last? As long as it needs to. Dad, I didn't abandon him. I made a choice I could live with. Then live with it, he said, and hung up. Owen and I spent Thanksgiving alone. He made turkey and mashed potatoes and we ate in silence. Halfway through the meal, I started crying and couldn't stop. I keep thinking about what he's doing right now, I said. If he's eating Thanksgiving dinner with strangers, if he's thinking about me, if he remembers that I was supposed to help him and I didn't. Owen reached across the table. He's with people who are trained for this. People who wanted him. That's better than being with us and watching us struggle. You don't know that. Neither do you, he said. Work became harder. I couldn't focus during meetings. I'd start drafting emails and forget what I was trying to say. My boss pulled me aside in December and asked if everything was okay. Family stuff, I said. Do you need time off? No, I just need to push through it. She nodded but didn't look convinced. Owen started staying late at work. When I asked him about it, he said he had a big project, but I could tell he was avoiding me. We'd sit on the couch at night and he'd scroll through his phone while I stared at the TV without seeing it. Are you okay? I asked him one night. I'm fine. You don't seem fine. He set his phone down. I'm trying to give you space to process this, but it's been 2 months and you're not processing. You're just sinking. I don't know how to process it. You made a decision. It's done. You can't go back and change it. I know that. Then stop torturing yourself, he said. You're acting like you killed him. He's alive. He's placed. He's getting help. I don't know that for sure. You know enough, he said. Lauren told you he got placed with a good family. That's all you're going to get. It's not enough. He stood. I can't keep having this conversation. I can't keep reassuring you that you did the right thing when you don't want to be reassured. You want to feel bad. You want to punish yourself. And I can't stop you from doing that. He went to bed without me. I sat on the couch until 3 in the morning. Christmas came. My parents didn't call. Bryn didn't text. I sent them both messages saying I was thinking of them. Neither responded. Owen bought me a necklace. I thanked him and put it in a drawer. You didn't even look at it, he said. I did. You glanced at it and put it away. I'm sorry, I'm not really feeling Christmas this year. You're not feeling anything this year, he said. You're just existing. I don't know what you want me to do. I want you to stop acting like your life is over, he said. You made a hard choice. It cost you some relationships. That's terrible. But you're still here and so am I. And at some point you have to decide if that's enough. Is it enough for you? He looked at me for a long time. I don't know anymore. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? It means I signed up to be your partner. I didn't sign up to watch you destroy yourself over a choice you can't undo. I'm not destroying myself. You're not sleeping. You're barely eating. You cry at random times during the day. You don't talk to me about anything except how guilty you feel. That's not living. That's just surviving. I'm doing the best I can. Your best isn't working, he said. He went into the bedroom and closed the door. I sat on the couch and wondered if he was going to leave. He didn't, but things stayed cold between us. In February, my cousin Lauren called. I ran into your mom at the grocery store, she said. How is she? She didn't want to talk to me, but she looked tired. Did she ask about me? No. I closed my eyes. Okay. I'm sorry, Lauren said. I keep hoping this will blow over, but I don't think it's going to. Yeah. Are you doing okay? Not really. Is Owen still with you? For now. She was quiet. I wish I could fix this. You can't. I know. We hung up. Owen came home that night and found me staring at my laptop. What are you looking at? He asked. Articles about foster care outcomes. Statistics on adoption disruption. Trauma therapy success rates. He closed the laptop. Stop. I need to know if he's okay. You're never going to know, he said. You need to accept that. I can't. Then you're going to drive yourself insane, he said. And you're going to take me with you. So leave. He stared at me. What? If this is too much for you, leave. I won't blame you. Is that what you want? I don't know what I want, I said. I don't know anything anymore. He sat beside me. I don't want to leave, but I can't keep doing this. I can't keep watching you disappear. I'm not disappearing. You are, he said. You're here physically, but you're not actually present. You're somewhere else. You're with him. I'm just trying to make sure he's okay. He's not your responsibility, Owen said. He never was. That doesn't make me feel better. I know, he said, but it's the truth. In April, I was scrolling through a local news site during lunch and saw a headline that made my breath catch. Local foster family specializes in trauma-informed care. I clicked on it. The article profiled a couple who had been fostering children with severe behavioral issues for over a decade. They talked about their approach, their training, their success stories. Near the end, there was a paragraph about their current placements. Among their recent additions is C, a 10-year-old boy who came to them last fall after a previous adoption disrupted. According to his caseworker, C is reportedly adjusting well and receiving intensive therapeutic support, including weekly sessions with a trauma specialist and daily behavioral coaching. C, it had to be him. I read the paragraph 5 more times. Adjusting well. Intensive therapeutic support. I closed my laptop and put my head down on my desk. He was okay. He was getting help. He was with people who knew what they were doing. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt something sharper. Something that tasted like shame. He was okay without me. He was better off without me. I'd been right to say no, and that knowledge felt worse than if I'd been wrong. That night, I told Owen what I'd found. See, he said. He's fine. He's exactly where he needs to be. I know. So you can stop worrying now. I don't think I can, he sighed. Why not? Because I'll never know if I made the right choice or just the easier one. I'll never know if I could have helped him or if I would have made things worse. I'll never know if he thinks about me or if he's forgotten me completely. Does it matter? Yes. Why? Why? Because he asked me to take him, I said. He looked at me and asked me directly, and I said no. That's not something you forget. He was 10, he's probably moved on. Or he's internalized the message that even his own family didn't think he was worth the trouble. Owen rubbed his face. You can't control what he internalizes. You can only control what you were capable of giving, and you weren't capable of taking him on. That's not a moral failure, that's just reality. It feels like a moral failure, because you're choosing to see it that way, he said. You could also choose to see it as you being honest about your limits. You could choose to see it as you refusing to set everyone up to fail, but you don't want to see it that way because it doesn't feel bad enough. That's not fair. It's true, he said. I didn't argue. A week later, I drafted a message to Bryn. I rewrote it 6 times. Finally, I sent something short. I saw an article about a foster family that specializes in trauma care. I think Caleb might be with them. I hope he's doing well. I know you're still angry with me. I understand. I just wanted you to know I think about him. I hope someday you can forgive me. I stared at my phone for an hour waiting for a response. Nothing came. The next day, still nothing. A week later, I checked again. She'd read it. She hadn't replied. I told Owen. She's not going to forgive you, he said. Not anytime soon. Maybe not ever. I know. Can you live with that? I don't have a choice. You do, he said. You can keep reaching out and torturing yourself every time she doesn't respond. Or you can accept that this is the cost of the choice you made and try to move forward. I don't know how to move forward. One day at a time, he said. Same as everyone else. My parents didn't call on my birthday. I hadn't expected them to, but it still hurt. Owen took me to dinner. I ordered food I didn't eat. He didn't push me. Are we going to be okay? I asked him on the drive home. I don't know, he said. I want us to be, but I can't do all the work. I'm trying. I know you are, he said, but trying isn't always enough. We drove the rest of the way in silence. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling while Owen slept beside me. I thought about Caleb, wondered if he was asleep, wondered if he ever thought about me, wondered if he was happy. I thought about Bryn, wondered if she'd found peace, wondered if she hated me as much as I hated myself. I thought about my parents, wondered if they'd ever speak to me again. I thought about Owen, wondered how much longer he'd stay, and I thought about the choice I'd made, the one I couldn't undo, the one I'd have to carry for the rest of my life. I didn't know if it was the right choice. I didn't know if there was a right choice. All I knew was that I'd drawn a line when a child's future was on the other side of it, and I'd have to live with that. Owen stirred beside me. He reached for my hand in the dark. I held on. It wasn't forgiveness, it wasn't peace, but it was something.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop your favorite part in the comments. See you in the next one.